Welcome to today's Explainer. If you're gearing up for the 2026 competitive exams, UPSC, SSC, RRB, or the bank exams, you already know the general knowledge section can absolutely make or break your score. Today, we're taking what could easily be a massive, overwhelming study list of state-wise facts, and we're transforming it into a vibrant, structured tour of India's cultural geography. We're going to decode the exact source material you need to master this topic, and we'll do it in a way that actually sticks in your head. Let's get right into it.
So check out this mind-boggling fact straight from our source material. The dialect changes almost every 100 kilometers across India. Just think about the sheer scale of that for a second. And as those dialects shift every 100 kilometers, so do the folk dance styles, the costumes, the music, the whole shebang. Every single region brings something completely unique to the table. It's literally a living, breathing map of human expression. Grasping this geographical shift, that is your secret weapon for memorizing this massive list of dances for your exams.
So how do we tackle this mountain of information? Here's our roadmap. We'll start with India's cultural dance tapestry. Compare folk versus classical dances, check out the rhythms of the North, move to Eastern and Southern expressions, and finally wrap up with the ultimate exam quiz.
All right, Section 1, India's cultural dance tapestry, celebrating nature's bounty and human emotion.
At their core, these dances really just reflect the everyday joy and sorrow of Indian society. And honestly, nothing drives that emotion better than the subcontinent's 4 distinct seasons. Because India has such a deeply agrarian history, almost every single state has a dedicated dance form specifically for the harvest season. And hey, pro tip, remembering that a specific harvest dance belongs to a specific farming region is going to make your exam prep a whole lot easier. Moving on to Section 2. Folk versus classical dances. 2 vibrant paths of expression. To really get a handle on this cultural compass, we need to draw a clear line between the 2 main categories. First up, folk dances. These are spontaneous, community-driven events performed by everyday men and women to celebrate harvests and life milestones. Basically, everyday people just celebrating life. Then, on the flip side, we have classical dances. Now, this is an entirely different ballgame. These are performed by highly trained, skilled artists, they're deeply connected to Hindu goddesses, and they're officially recognized by the Shastriya Academy.
Okay, this is absolutely crucial. We have the 8 classical dances of India and their home states, a massive, high-yield topic for UPSC, state PSC, and SSC exams. We've got Bharatanatyam from Tamil Nadu, Kathak from Uttar Pradesh, Kuchipudi from Andhra Pradesh, and Odissi from Odisha. Heading down south to Kerala, we see Kathakali and Mohiniyattam. And finally, over in the northeast, there's Satriya from Assam and Manipuri from Manipur. Seriously, whatever you do, burn these 8 into your memory.
Let's jump into Section 3, Rhythms of the North, State-wise Highlights. Now that we've got our classical foundation locked in, let's look at the sheer density of cultural expression across the northern and western states. I mean, it's wild. We go from Punjab's legendary Bhangra and Garba to Haryana's Jhumar. Up in the beautiful valleys of Jammu and Kashmir, there's Rauf, and over in Gujarat, the incredibly energetic Garba. Each one of these lists represents literal centuries of evolved art forms. Now, I want you to pay special attention to a couple of standouts here. According to the source guide, dances like Rauf from Jammu and Kashmir and Garba from Gujarat, these pop up constantly as direct questions in state folk matching tests. Exam boards absolutely love these regional highlights. So here's a quick mental shortcut. When you see Rauf, immediately think of the northernmost tip of India. And for Garba, picture the western coast.
On to Section 4, Eastern and Southern expressions, from the northeast to the southern coasts.
Let's shift our compass a bit and look at the huge wealth of traditions stretching from Assam all the way down to Kerala. What's really fascinating here is how some states seamlessly blend their classical and folk traditions. Like in Andhra Pradesh, classical Kuchipudi sits right alongside folk dances like Dapu. In Kerala, classical Kathakali shares the stage with folk expressions like Autumn Thalal. And over in the east, Assam boasts the famous Bihu, while Bihar brings us Jatajitan.
And just like we did for the North, we've got to focus on the high-probability questions. For anyone targeting an RRB, SSC, or really any government post in 2026, you absolutely must know Bihu in Assam and Jatajitan in Bihar. These are classic textbook examples of agricultural and societal celebrations, and the examiners fully expect you to know them inside and out.
Finally, Section 5, the ultimate exam quiz. Let's test your competitive exam GK.
All right, we've covered the geography, we've broken down the classical folk divide. Let's ramp up the energy with a rapid-fire trivia round pulled straight from the study material. First question, think back to our classical list. Which is the national dance of India? Take a quick second to lock in your answer.
As the source explicitly states in its FAQ section, the answer is Bharatanatyam. Originating from Tamil Nadu, this incredibly disciplined and highly trained art form holds that prestigious national title.
Moving right along to our next historical milestone, do you happen to know which is considered the oldest dance of India?
Well, if you guessed Odissi originating from the eastern state of Odisha, you are absolutely correct according to our 2026 exam guide. It's this beautiful, ancient form of expression that has survived and evolved over countless generations.
Okay, let's do one more, this time pulling from our regional tour of the North. Ralph is the folk dance of which state? Come on, I specifically highlighted this one for you earlier.
The answer, of course, is the beautiful region of Jammu and Kashmir. If you got that right, your geographical map of India's culture is definitely coming together.
We kicked off this explainer by noting that the dialect, and really the entire culture, changes almost every 100 kilometers across India. We've mapped out the joy of the rural harvests, the intense discipline of the classical academies, and those big regional highlights from Kashmir down to Kerala. So as you push forward with your general knowledge prep, ask yourself, with so much incredible diversity out there, which of these vibrant regions are you going to explore and master to secure that 2026 government post? Keep studying, keep building out that mental map, and we'll catch you in the next explainer.